as you know, with a summit of this nature, thousands of delegates would flock to a country, and in particular to South Africa. And at the same time, a number of media delegation also make their way to the country. And just to give us a bit of insight when it comes to what they are covering here at the G20 Leaders Summit, we are now joined by some members and research members from the G20 Summit Research Group. And ladies, thank you so much for your time this evening. And Irene, maybe I'm going to start off with you. I mean, you guys do this every year. You travel from one country to the next and you research, you know, when it comes to what we can expect from the G20 Summit. And when it comes to this G20, as the G20 Research Group, tell us more about your work and what has gone into preparing for the summit.
Absolutely. So the G20 Summit has always served as this inclusive and representative forum for leaders to collaborate on pertinent issues. And what we do at the G20 Research Group is to track compliance of leaders' commitments over the course of the compliance cycle. And what that means is we look at their commitments related to health, macroeconomics, health-related policy, environment, climate change, and other related issue areas, and see how well they actually do over the course of the year. And I think this year is very exciting, being that we're in South Africa, and since the joining of the African Union in 2023, it marks such an important and pivotal moment for us to center our voices and issues related to issues that are affecting African nations. And I can really see it taking off in terms of the priority areas and what can come out of it in terms of the leaders' declarations, and it's looking to be a really insightful summit.
And Mahek, when it comes to what your expectations are of this G20 Leaders Summit, just tell us what has impressed you so far when you compare this summit to the other summits you've covered?
Absolutely. I mean, just right off the bat, today is our first day at the Media Center, and it's been a lovely experience so far. Everyone here is so hospitable and kind, and we really do appreciate that as international media. Compared to previous summits, we've really noted and appreciated how secure and how organized everything is here. It's been very easy to get access to information, to navigate and communicate with others, and we really do appreciate that. And then in terms of prospects, we really look forward to seeing how the first African summit will go. It's a monumental achievement, and it's historic to have a summit in Africa. We hope it's the first of many to come, and we look forward to seeing how the developmental priorities of Africa and also other lower and middle-income countries around the world are going to be represented in the summit, in the leaders' discussions, by international bodies, and ultimately seeing how we can make progress that is representative and inclusive and equitable for everyone.
Irene, what are your expectations when it comes to this G20 summit? I mean, like what Mahek is mentioning here, this is the first time it takes place on African soil. It's the first time it's taking place in South Africa. What are you expecting to see from the summit?
I think two major issue areas that really speak to me are one being development of the African Union as a whole, and also this idea of institutional reform, this being at the center of discussions related to how can we actually bolster multilateral organizations. In terms of development, I think what is really interesting is, this idea of making Africa a seamless continent of borders and also facilitating resources across many of these borders. And I feel that South Africa has played a pivotal role in this in terms of facilitating dialogue, financing these mechanisms, and also bolstering discussions as well as partnerships with integral countries such as the African Union, in terms of China, in terms of Brazil. It's played a really important role in terms of these partnerships. In terms of institutional reform, what is really interesting is that we've seen deliberate attempts by many member states to undermine this international organization and international order that we've collectively constructed. But that South Africa, amongst many other states, have actually combated that and actively taken the stand to say, hey, no, this is not acceptable, and we have continually taken steps to make sure that different members are represented from different regions, that the representativeness and also the stability of these organizations are upheld. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how these develop over the course of the next few days.
And Mahek, I mean, you guys are only here for a few days, and I'm sure there is some sort of item you want to tick off your bucket list while you are here. Is there anything anything in particular, while we do know that this G20 summit is underway, just when it wraps up, is there anything that you set your eyes on that you'd really like to experience your stay here in South Africa?
It's so hard to pick just one thing. I wish I was staying here for much longer than I am, because I would love to go around not only Johannesburg but the rest of South Africa as well. But in this short time, I would love to be able to tap into some of the history and culture here. I know the Nelson Mandela House is, of course, a key monument that we're all aware of, and in addition to other museums and artifacts, I'm a bit of a history geek, so I would love to be able to do a bit more of that. But also, like, the environment here is so beautiful. I wish I was staying longer to do a safari.
And you, Irene?
I definitely have the safari on my list. Unfortunately, I don't have as long as well. And, you know, so far the city has really struck me as one that welcomes people of all backgrounds. Another thing I'm really looking forward to is the food scene. I've heard really good reviews about it, and I'm looking to dive into that a bit more with the time that I have left.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for your time. All right, that is Mahek and Irene. They're from the G20 research group. Now, they've been conducting a research, and they've also then compiled a magazine that will be given to delegates who will be attending the summit over the next 2 days.